Hey guys, RPG Tweaker here from rpgtweaker.tumblr.com, also known as Jerry. I'm going to speak a little quickly so I can do a fair amount and try and keep it to about 10 minutes, give or take. Wearing my anti-bullying pink shirt day. My work very much supported that and very awesome. My son wore his to school and there was lots of his little buddies that were wearing that, so it's good to see the support out there for those people who are going through hard times. So, on to gaming. Had an excellent session last night. My main group went through a bit of a splintering where we had like 8 or 9 people. People were being disruptive, doing a little bit of bullying, just not really being where you want to be. My free time is limited, so I do like to, when I play, I play. When I work, I work. If I have to work at the playing part of things, it's not right. So, I went to my group, I told them, hey, let's kind of break off with the people that want to, do the game the way that we have been doing it. You guys, can go your separate game or whatever else you're going to do. They were fine with that, so we're good. So, my party consists of Patrick the Barbarian, Raz the Ranger, Morana the Sorceress, and my NPC Magda Fireveins, who is a Skald from the Advanced Class Guide. So, the group basically went off on a little bit of a treasure hunt. In the Red Shield Tavern in Fort Inevitable, minor spoiler coming up, there's a painted map painted over the shield. So basically, the shield has, it's this big red shield, and it's the Red Shield Tavern. So upon closer inspection, there's a map they can see if it's been painted over. So the party then finds the map, legitly, because one of the characters was interested in weapons and armor. So, as part of their backstory. So they go to where the map leads them to. And it leads them to this glade in the park called the Echo Wood, which is outside of where the Emerald Spire is. They see a boulder and a tree stump. So they go up to start digging and figure out where the treasure is. And the boulder turns out to be a bullet. Now at this point, when the party first did this, they were level 3 or level 4. This thing was a CR7, and it mauled most of the party. Most of the party, even though it was a larger group, they weren't really good with teamwork, or they didn't really work on tactics or other things. So the thing was mauling them just left, right, and center. So now the party is level 7 at this point. They decide to go back, take a break from the Spire and all the grueling fighting they've been doing, and to see if they can find out what this treasure is. So they go to the glade, and due to proper preparation, they just wreck the bullet without taking a scratch. The sorceress casts some flight spells on people. Magda has insane speed thanks to a couple buffs and some other things, so the bullet couldn't catch it basically at all. So they wreck it. Leads to them finding a sarcophagus. This open sarcophagus. There's a blood red suit of armor holding a sword in a burial pose. But there seems to be an indent on the armor where the shield that it used to have is. And they're like, well, let's see, map with a shield from a shield. Maybe I should go there. This isn't going to be any kind of spoiler because this is my own thing I just kind of made up, because the book references for the Emerald Spire that there's a map there, but they don't really mention anything about what the map does or however. So I just kind of just threw it out there and just made it up on the fly. One of my things. So the party goes back to Fort Inevitable, steals the red shield thanks to Magda putting on a show with the sorceress being invisible and doing some stuff. So they steal the shield, take the shield to the sarcophagus. They put the shield on the armor. The thing wakes up, starts beelining it towards the spire. Then they start moving along, trying to catch up to it, but it doesn't need to rest, and they do. They find it on level 4 of the spire, which there's this contraption in the center that stops metal things. So what happens from there is they free it, they follow it down, down, down to level 6. So now, in level 6 in the center, once you get around a whole bunch of little passages and levers and such, there's a golem making machine. So the Red Knight starts hacking at the golems, and the party starts fighting the golems, and they start wrecking the machine as the knight just starts hacking at it with its sword. So then this weird bug-like elemental kind of creature that's kind of got thick plates and green crystals that match the spire and such. There's a template at the end of the book that has these things as a CR14. I dumbed it down a little bit, but it still made it a very tough fight for my party. So The party with the knight helping it, I'm just going to call it the knight, they start fighting, and the party's doing really well. They're like working together. They're calling things out. They're like casting spells on each other or aiding someone if someone's down. Something that wasn't really happening with the other party and stuff, the larger one. So already way better. So the party gets all wrecked and mangled because this thing has like 4 claw attacks. It has like a ranged attack that does like 6d6 and like 120-foot radius. It's just like hits everything. They get a reflex, but it's still like damage. I was rolling like fantastic damage. My party hates me. I seem to roll fairly well for damage. So the party then goes full out, and the barbarian goes down. Because the bug thing summons like an earth elemental, and it's got to deal with that and the thing. The knight is fighting this thing, but then the bug creature that seems to have some ability to manipulate stone and such raises up a wall of stone. The knight breaks through the wall of stone, knocking the bug creature that was up on top of it down, and then everyone's like fighting together and doing it. The sorceress gets knocked down and out. Meanwhile, the ranger was like, I'm going to explore this like hole where the thing came out of, where the golem machine is. So he slides down the hole, and there's this like big door that's got runes in Aklo, which happen throughout the spire. They don't read Aklo, but they can recognize it because it's just like, I don't speak Russian, but I know what a Russian letter sort of looks like. So just like that. So there's a little keyhole in the middle of the door. So he's like, well, we have these little tokens that can be used to teleport around the spire. So he sticks it in there and gets teleported up to level 1 minus his spire token. So he's like, oh my god. So through some legit exploring, he finds one on level 1 that the party had missed. It was part of like a wind chime that one of the bosses had. So he like runs back, fights. This is all happening while the boss fight and stuff's going on. So the party is dealing without the ranger. The my Skald Magda is the one dealing with it with the knight. So between the two of them, they're fighting. The sorceress, before she went down though, comes up and she punches the thing with a shocking grasp, because it's melee touch, and the thing dies, but as it dies, it explodes a little bit, so that's how she goes down. The party, so Magda has a wand of Cure Light Wounds. She burns like 35 charges on it to heal everyone up enough to basically like not die and be okay to fight whatever's down the hole. So the knight thing kind of goes over and like steps and crushes the bug thing, and then rips out a crystal out of its chest, like a foot-long green crystal. And the party's like, oh, I bet you that opens the door. So they go down the hole. The knight just seems to be standing there as if it's waiting for something. The party tries to talk to it. The sorceress kind of talks to it in Aklo thanks to like tongues. So it's waiting for its master to command it. So none of the party, it won't listen to any of the party. So we end up stealing the crystal from the thing thanks to a very lucky roll on Magda's part. And crystal goes in, door slides over. Now they're walking for a very good distance, and they get to this huge chasm, underground cavern as well and such. There's like a little underground river and other things. So as they're walking around it, they notice like some of the stone wall has like these glass panels, almost glass or crystalline panels, and there's like different races of creatures in there, like all sorts. Some of them are like mutated, some of them are diseased, some of them are just regular. So it's almost like a collection of creatures. So they don't really know what to think about all that. And then all of a sudden they get attacked by a hook horror, which if you know 3.5 or anything like that, or the Underdark, it's fairly nasty. But the party starts to kind of fight whatever. It got a surprise attack on the ranger and come up pretty good. Magda basically bull rushes it off of this narrow cliff down into the huge I don't hear you fall and hit the bottom chasm. So the party continues on through the hole. So now they get to the point where they hit another door, and they go through that door, and it leads to a little underground city. I'm going to stop my video here, and I'm going to record another one. So we'll call this one part 1, because I'd like to try and keep it moderately timed. So I will see you guys in a minute.